All of the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Dennis, welcome back. Market's a little bit higher than when you left.
Yeah, market's slowly doing the drift there, Joel. Wasn't trading there last week. I was trying to find my groove here this morning. The financials look like they're going to be the driver here today, Joel.
Okay, so far the overnight low just 3 ticks below the close at 1366. If that stands as a low of the day, which is looking pretty good right now, we have an upside target of 1379.75. 1375.75 is what we've hit on the upside, and that doesn't look like it's going to hold as the high of the day. But if it does, we have a downside target of 1362. Please note that the S&Ps have made a new high of the move here. We're trading above 1371.25, so that will be a big level that we need to hold in this morning session in order to continue the march north. ExxonMobil, just as it looked like it was falling in the abyss at the end of last week, making a new 16-day low on Friday, rallied right out of the gate, practically matched Monday. 405, made a close all the way up to 85.55 with an 85.70. Currently trading above that level. Look for support from the high down to the close. And our first stop, 86.48.
$86 too, Joel. This was a number back in the day. We got to go back here to a couple months ago, where this 86 number had some major institutional selling pressure there, and I'm starting to see some institutional selling pressure form here again with a little bit of size at 86. So keep that number in mind. I think that could be where it could put a lid on it off the hop. And then if it takes that 86 out, then we can talk about your 86.40 number. Now, just for full disclosure, I do have a trading position in XOM as well.
Okay, ExxonMobil, we're done with that. Moving on to Apple Computer. Dennis, a stock that closes on the high of the day, and it's an all-time high at 552. I mean, going home short, that doesn't seem to be the formula. That carries over into the after hours. Apple Computer trading up here almost $5, making an overnight high so far right in this area at 557.75. That's the only number we have to keep an eye on. Coming back on the downside, 552 will be support. Just think about that, Dennis. The old all-time high and close is now support in Apple. When is this thing going to stop going up?
Joel, this has been an unbelievable run. Some stocks have a run, but when you have a market cap the size of Apple, and to have that kind of run with that kind of market cap is just incredible. We can go back and look at the chart here. Back in December, we were trading the 375 area. This thing's now 557. So approaching, 185-point gain here over 3 months. Is it sustainable? Probably not, but who the heck knows when it ends? So I don't want to be the guy trying to call the tops. You start getting up here to the 560, 570 area, they're going to start talking about 600 on this thing. And then you never know, it could become like the tractor beam thing, almost pulling it in if it gets up to 570, 580. So I don't know. I don't want to be short this thing, but I don't want to be long it either, because this thing could fall like 40 points in one day, and everybody wouldn't even, everybody's so long. Who knows where the top is, though, Joel?
Just the only thing, I know we talk about technicals all the time, but Dennis, the stock is still not trading at a high PE.
It's
true,
and it's true. They just keep, blowing earnings away every time they announce a report, and exactly that. You ever go to those Apple stores that just bomb? People are everywhere on those things, man.
I went there last night.
Busy?
Great customer. Yep. Busy, great customer service, but until the E comes down, I don't think the P is going to come down either.
Oh, sure.
Speaking of stocks making all-time highs, IBM just blinked at the $200 level, actually made a low above that yesterday, so now 200 is support here in IBM. The all-time high, 201.57, will act as support. just have to use projections for highs on these things as the average daily range, and that's
This chart here too, Joel, just looks like it's breaking out to me. 201.75 where it's bid this morning in the pre-market. So that's above the 52-week high at 201.57. Have to keep 201.57. Give it some respect though. It is a 52-week high, but we open over there. I think you could just blow through 202. I don't think, you always play the whole number theory a little bit, but when you're in stock in the 200s, the whole numbers don't quite mean as much. I think, the stock just looks like it's ready to break out and continue higher.
And talking about all-time highs, will today be the day that Chevron Corporation finally goes through 110.99? It seems like I've been talking about that forever and a year, but that's the only number we have in the book. Closed on the high of the day at 110, so that will act as support. Below 110.99, your guess is as good as mine.
Man, and that's a big number, Joel. That's where you're talking. We've talked about this number even before I was away there. We've talked about this number all year, really. Well, at least for the last 6 months. There's big institutional selling pressure up here in the 111s. The high-frequency guys want to be in front of those, so they keep selling in front of it, and that's why you see that high at 110.99 as they're selling and leaning in front of that 111 area. So until I can take out that 111 area, I'm still playing it from the short side, but when it takes out that 111, it could spike really fast.
Okay, we may have a trade in here in Microsoft, Dennis. Thursdays, Friday, and Monday highs within a nickel. You know how Microsoft likes to do that. 32.25 has been the session high so far. You got to look through this. Gets through that area. The high of the move before looks like a sitting duck. If it comes back anywhere near the $32 area, you actually had 3 closes in Mr. Softy right around the $32 level, so that should be excellent support.
Just got to be a little bit careful here because Apple has been making new highs. Microsoft has failed to make new highs so far. 32.44. I'd love to see, if it starts getting up over the 32.50 area, then I think you could possibly play it from the long side. But until it can break out over that 32.50 area, I'd be really cautious with my longs.
Okay, General Electric closes 1913, trading up 7 cents in the pre-market. Couple highs, Friday and Monday's highs right here. Old resistance, new support. Got some highs back in late February at 1937, and the high of the move at 1950. So, man, this thing better go to 1950 today, or it should just drop out of the Big Ten.
And it's thickening up, Joel, in the 1925, 1930, 1935. I think, as you know, this thing had that sell-off there last week and the rally back up. Now some institutions are getting a little bit nervous, and they look like they're throwing out, some sell orders here in the 1920s and 30s. High-frequency guys smell those out, so I'd expect some high-frequency resistance starting at 1925. But if it can get that slow march on, it can take out that size. But definitely some institutions getting nervous here on this one, Joel.
Well, hopefully its market cap will make it drop out of the Big Ten. We won't have to talk about it anymore. Procter & Gamble busted through that quadruple top at 67.10. After that, it was off to the races. Made a high, new 52-week high. Excuse me.
I can step in, Joel. If you're having problems there, I'll just step in. Procter & Gamble here, 67.90, 67.95, 68 bucks. Seeing institutional selling pressure all over the place there. So even though we made a new 52-week high, 67.78 yesterday, still going to have trouble getting up over the 68 number. 68 is key. The high frequency guys will smell those orders out. So resistance starting here at 67.90, Joel. It's actually putting a lid on in the pre-market too. That's right where it's trading, is 67.90 in the pre-market.
Okay, AT&T continues its march higher. 31.52 was Monday's high. We're currently trading above that level. So use 31.52 down to the close, 31.44 as support. And within a couple days, we should be reaching the 52-week high at
It's
31.94.
all about that 31.94 on this stock, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do march up to test that area at least. Get us above 32, then it continues to be in breakout mode. But you highlighted some in the weekly comments with the 5.6 dividend yield. It is a big dividend. People are seeking out dividend yields. I know we're still, I think, a month away from going ex-dividend here again. But keep that in mind that people just like those higher yielding stocks, and that keeps putting upward pressure on it.
Okay, Johnson & Johnson repelled the $64 level again yesterday, a nickel away from Friday's low. Closed at 65.10 with the 65.15 high. Currently the pre-market. Use that area as support. Coming up in the upside, 65.26 was matching highs, 8-9 day high. But we could be heading back towards 66.
Yeah, Joel, this is the channelingstocks.com. For you swing traders out there, the range in the lower 64s, the stock has been a buy, and the high 65s, the stock has been a sell. Right here, it's kind of in the middle of the range, so I'm a little bit scared to. I think you'd be early if you're shorting it here at 65.24, where it's trading the pre-market. But if it can get up and get a little bit of a rally going, selling in the high 65s, I can still see the trade there. We've had some major resistance in that 66 area.
Okay, and moving on to our final component, Pfizer Corporation, 3 consecutive lows and 21.42 to 44. Closed at 21.54 with a 64 high. Bumping up against that in the pre-market. We did hit 21.74 last week, so that could be a target on the upside. That was also the 28-day high, and Pfizer can contain this momentum. It looks like it's going to take another shot at the $22 level.
I think it is, Joel. And a lot of the defensive stocks had a pretty good day yesterday, even though the market was weak for much of the day. A lot of your defensive stocks actually were trading higher and quite a bit higher. And this is one of those. So I think these stocks, these defensive stocks, are starting to come back into play a little bit here. They've kind of been out of favor for the last couple of months, but they're slowly. So it's all that about that rotation that we've been talking about, that sector rotation. And as some of the other stocks have started to stall, not Apple being, but some of the other stocks, you're seeing some of these defensive names come back into play. So keep an eye on 21.74, takes that out, might test at 22.
Okay, that's a wrap of the S&P 500 and the Big Ten. S&P still hanging out near the high of the day. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our market movers.